Welcome to kiwiradio.nz for our weekly showcase of Kiwi artists. This time both currently living in New Zealand, and we have the first guest, Ant Utama. He's a Kiwi but living abroad. He's got a brand new single that he wants to showcase today, but first of all, here's something a little bit prepared called Biding My Time. We'll be back with Ant Utama very soon with his brand new single called Excuse Me. I have two other guests today. It's going to be great fun. Stick around.
Inside my mind, being just so feet in the dirt, and God knows it hurt. Oh, biding my time. My stars are in line. 2 years in the making, creating journeys and rhymes. 2 years of failing on my way to the surface. Now I know my purpose. I've been biding my time. Now my last life was different. That's a piece of the past. I've been reincarnated, evolved in my craft. Gonna prove I'm on the move. If you stepped on me, you better watch out. Getting off the canvas to finish this round. Gonna do or die, gonna crash or fly, cause I've been biding my time. If you stepped on me, you better watch out. Getting off the canvas to finish this round. Gonna do or die, gonna crash or fly, cause I've been biding my time. I've been biding my time. I've been biding. My time is right now. I'm standing in the wings, won't throw in the towel. I'm going for the win, cause I've come this far, and it's thanks to this heart, oh, biding my time. Oh, my last life was different, that's a piece of the past. I've been reincarnated, evolved in my craft. Gonna prove I'm on the move. If you stepped on me, you better watch out. Getting off the canvas to finish this round. Gonna do or die, gonna crash or fly, cause I've been biding my time. If you stepped on me, you better watch out. Getting off the canvas to finish this round. Gonna do or die, gonna crash or fly, cause I've been biding my time. I've been biding my time. I've been biding, bruised and burnt. I've tasted dirt. It's time to flirt with my destiny. Gonna end this curse, quench my thirst. Biding my time, oh, it's my recipe. So if you stepped on me, you better watch out. Getting off the canvas to finish this round. Gonna do or die, gonna crash or fly, cause I've been biting. If you stepped on me, you better watch out. Getting off the canvas to finish this round. Gonna do or die, gonna crash or fly, cause I've been biting my time. If you stepped on me, you better watch out. Getting off the canvas to finish this round. Gonna do or die, gonna crash or fly, cause I've been biting my time. If you stepped on me, you better watch out. Getting off the canvas to finish this round. Gonna do or die, gonna crash or fly, cause I've been biding my time.
You're listening to the sounds of Ant Utama, singer-songwriter, storyteller. Kiwi currently living in Germany. I think I flipped that the other way around. That sounds like your brand new song. Is that right there, Ant? And welcome.
That is the brand new one, yeah.
Oh yeah. I went straight into the crescendo too soon. I do that sometimes. But yeah, sounding fantastic. Tell us a little bit about this new single, and are you excited?
Thanks very much. Yeah, really excited with this single, and it's a personal one because I'm a full-time musician now, and that career choice comes with a whole lot of challenges. And I mean, it's obvious that artists have a difficult time during the COVID period, and so I was in kind of a darker place. It can be difficult in the best of times. There's a lot of rejection you have to face. There's a lot of judgment and doubt. that you have to
Do you find
deal with
that
and
sometimes,
develop a thick skin.
yeah? Do you find that hurdles can sometimes fuel songwriting though?
Exactly. I feel like that those hurdles create emotion that you can therefore use uh, as a muse for creating and songwriting. So yeah, whilst we have like challenging things we go through, I think it's great if you make something out of it.
Yeah, and you're one stunning creative, song after song, really. Tell us about this new production lineup, though, because it's sounding very polished.
Oh, thanks. I mean, this is it was a producer here in Germany called Julian David. But it's a cool process. He's a great producer, and we also had a yeah. Well, my name Ant Utama, Ant like short for Anthony. And yeah, I mean, I'm on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube as well. So
And
just
and the
look
and
for me. I'm also on Spotify. So, yeah, anywhere
absolutely.
you search.
And you've actually got your own as well. Let's not forget that. It's antutama.com. So, what's your gig
That's
schedule
right.
like in Germany at the moment then? You mentioned there's a few hurdles, but are things opening up?
Well, things were a lot better this year. Obviously, it's coming into winter now here on this side of the world, which means it's getting warmer in New Zealand. But yeah, this summer and this year in general was really great after 2 years where everything was basically shut down. Things have come back, and it was almost like people were overcompensating for 2 years of silence. So yeah, it was really great, and I just hope that things can continue next year.
Speaking of winter, you're definitely a musician with a big heart, touching on some social issues in Germany, such as homelessness, which is highlighted by your next song called Excuse Me. If you want to check out the music video, maybe you want to tell us a little bit about the backstory of this next song.
Yeah, so when I moved to Germany for it was 4 years ago, I decided I was going to pursue music full time. Back home in New Zealand, I had a proper job, 9 to 5, and yeah, I'm going to do music when I move to Germany. But I didn't have any contacts, I didn't have any networks, and the first place you play is on the street, and I did so, and I was really humbled when I saw how kind people can be, and especially the homeless. I was given money in my guitar case by a couple of homeless people, and it really shifted my perspective. I was previously ignorant to homeless people, and I just would not want to make contact and walk past them, and not want to feel guilty about it. And when the homeless people showed me kindness, gave me little money that they had that they could have bought food with, it was such you know an amazing experience, and it inspired me to write this song. Excuse me, to hopefully give homeless more of a voice. And yeah, and so when I launched this, released this song 1 year ago, I did a little charitable action at the same time. I slept on the street for 72 hours to gain a little perspective on what, is obviously just a small time period to experience what people have to go through. But I also raised money for charity and collected donations throughout that process last year. It was cool. We raised nearly €2,500, which is about $4,000 New Zealand. So it was a cool, interesting experience and a great result.
Good on you, man. And it is very, it's close to heart for me because I know that us can happen to
Feel somethings such as homelessness, and a few years ago when we had the Christchurch attacks. Unfortunately, it inspired me to write a song for humanity, and so that was I released a song called "Your New Home" as a tribute to the victims emotions of that day. And so, yeah, I mean, whatever I'm confronted with and makes me emotional. And also, if there's a message that I think people need to hear, it definitely inspires me.
Oh, thank you, Ant. Well, you're definitely an inspirational musician that I've checked out for many years now, and I plan to do so for many more years. So definitely very inspiring to see your art, and loving the new single. Thank you so much for biding my time. Well, we're going to play out your segment with Excuse Me, and I do thank you for being, being part of our New Zealand audience all the way in Germany. Any final words?
No, just please check out the song "Biding My Time." It's streamable now on all platforms. But the music video, which was also funded by New Zealand On Air, obviously a wonderful, wonderful little platform for Kiwi musicians. They funded that music video, and so that's coming out this Friday. So that's going to be on YouTube. So keep your eyes peeled.
Check it out. The name to check out is Ant Utama, and you can find all his links at antutama.com. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out, and I hope to hear more from you again. Stay cool.
Thanks so much. Have an awesome evening.
Guten Tag. That's the only Germany I know. How is your German anyway? All good? Getting better?
Oh, I can get by, but it's challenging. I'm not great with languages, unfortunately.
Well, hope to see you in our shores again sometime soon. But otherwise, enjoy your travels and enjoy your adventures there in Germany.
Thanks so much, man.
That's Ant Utama. This is his next single called Excuse Me, something that's a little bit more prepared as well. I really love that new single as well, so congratulations, Ant, on that. We have two more musicians coming up tonight. Stay tuned for Matthew Bannister and Kyla Greening.
Excuse me, passerby, can you spare some change for a guy like me? Got myself in a pickle, as you can see. Excuse me, don't be shy. I ain't here to cause trouble, just to find my way through the dark realities of every day. People stare and walk on past. People sneer, point and laugh. But they don't know my story. They don't even think to ask why I am who I am. Excuse me, please don't judge. I've been through an avalanche of disarray. Still got hopes and dreams, they'll never fade away. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm cold and hungry, I can feel my toes. Now I'm out of options, and God only knows. People stare and walk on past. People sneer, point and laugh. But they don't know my story. They don't even think
Up next is Matthew Bannister from the Flying Nun act Sneaky Feelings. We've got him on the phone. Matthew, welcome to the show.
Yeah, kia ora, Ralph.
Kia ora, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Hey, thanks for
Um,
stopping by on the podcast. We have a few excited students of yours, by the looks of it, that know you from a class or two.
Is that Kyla Greening?
Yeah, well, Kyla's going to be up next as well, and she told me
Yeah, I
that.
saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was a
I
student of
remember teaching Kyla. She was a great student.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, she's listening in right now, so
Hopefully she'll say nice things about my teaching. But anyway,
well, kia ora and welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the songs that we're about to hear now.
well, I guess this album sort of dates back to kind of lockdown time, and it's based on a poet. Her name is Emily Dickinson, who lived in the 19th century. And I kind of knew some of her poems, and I thought that they would make good songs because they're quite sort of short and pithy, and they sort of rhyme, and they have quite strong rhythms. And so I thought that they could be poetry. I thought they could be good song lyrics. Plus, I learned a whole bunch off by heart because it's like a form of meditation for me to memorize things.
Right.
And then, if things get stressful, I kind of recite them to myself. And so it's like a sort of a chant or something.
Yes.
And then, of course, one of the things about Emily Dickinson was that she was a real loner. She basically retired to her bedroom and didn't come out to wrote a whole lot of poems, basically. And so I suppose their kind of feeling was, kind of in the COVID lockdown, I kind of felt isolated myself. And so it felt like the right time to kind of channel her spirit, so to speak.
Wow. Okay.
Plus, of course, yeah, she's a great poet.
It's amazing sometimes. I totally relate when silence is introduced into our lives that are normally quite noisy and busy. The brain kind of ups its level in creativity, doesn't it? It like you said, you can become enchanted or entranced, right? So interesting.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, the thing is, because you've got less stimulation coming from outside, you have to kind of amp up the stimulation from inside. And, you start sort of, because you're not being faced with things to do all the time, or people aren't telling you to do stuff, etc. Therefore, you kind of have to, find your motivation from within. And, so isolation is good for that. It makes you sort of draw on your own inner resources.
Yeah. One extreme is definitely, if you've heard of Gaudi, he was an architect. And
I heard of him.
He became insane but made some beautiful art, but he was very isolated most of his life as well. Well, we're going to check out the 3-song set from you. The album is called The Saddest Noise. The artist is called Matthew Bannister, but also known as One Man Bannister. Is that right?
Yeah, that's my kind of solo sort of moniker, yeah. I've done a few things as One Man Bannister. I did a couple of Beatles covers albums, which were kind of, I sort of did cover the Beatles, but I kind of reinvented the songs as I wrote them.
Ooh, I'm a big fan of the Beatles, actually. So we might have to check that out.
They're both on Power Tool. One's called Evolver.
Power Tool Records. Is that your record label?
I'm on Power Tool, yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm flying those for Sneaky Feelings, but other stuff is on Power Tool.
Ah, yes, good old
This
Power
album,
Tools.
the Emily Dickinson album is on Power Tool.
Check it out, Matthew Bannister. We'll be back with him very soon. First song is called A Bird Came Down the Walk.
A bird came down the walk. He did not know my song. He bit an angle worm in half and ate the fellow raw. And then he drank a drink of a
measure cautious. I offered him a crumb, and he unrolled his feathers and rode him softer home. There goes divide the ocean to silver for a sea, or butterflies off banks of blue leap flashless as they swim.
.nz. Kia ora and welcome to the show. Thank you to all the listeners listening in live right now. Really,
Noise. It's about the dawn chorus. I mean, the thing about Emily's poetry is she's kind of morbid. She's kind of fascinated by death, like a lot of poets are, I have to say. I suppose because it's one of the great taboo subjects in life. I suppose nobody really wants to talk about death, and so of course it's something that poets do. But anyway, she listens to the dawn chorus, and I suppose it's almost like its beauty is like too much for her. She can't handle it. It's too wonderful. So yeah, I mean, she was kind of like almost like a precursor of goth of the goths in some way.
mm-hmm.
That kind of fascination with the sort of dark side of human experience. So yeah, it's not really surprising that when she hears, most people hear beautiful birds, she only hears horrible sounds. It reminds me a bit of that was it song by Aldous Harding? What if the birds aren't singing, they're screaming? Which is like, I guess, shows a bit of a similar sensibility, perhaps. Do you know that song?
I have to look it up. Definitely.
Yeah, Aldous Harding is that's another New Zealand artist. But
Aldous Harding.
Aldous Harding, the New Zealand artist.
Right. And what's the song called?
What if the birds aren't singing, they're screaming?
I love that.
What if the birds aren't singing, they're screaming? Or something like that.
That's
yeah,
true.
it's on one of her albums. It's all true.
Birds do.
Noise, the sweetest noise.
I found that song by Aldous Harding as well. We'll play that a bit later. Sounds good.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I was getting lost in that music. Thank you so much for all the audience members chatting in the background as well. Got a couple of new subscribers during this live show, so kia ora to Yorana Author, Nuance as well, Stacey Leaning, Why the Long Face, New and Haven is a band. All welcome to the coolest podcast that dedicates its time to New Zealand music. KiwiRadio.nz, Matthew Bannister with Saddest Noise on that track. Check him out on Pal Tool Records. The final track here today, Matthew, is The Wind Tapped Like a Tired Man. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's going about wind. Well, when I did it live, I would like recite the poems and then I would sing the songs. So I figured that people might be interested in the lyrics just on their own. So, since I memorized them all, I was just showing off. But I think the words have a life of their own. But basically, the poem is simply about a solitary person, of course, and then the wind comes in their room. It's like the wind is a person. The wind has its own personality. It's like a friend. It's like an intruder. It's like a living being. And then at the end of the poem, it leaves.
Is it a nice
music,
kind of friend? What's the personality of wind?
well, I suppose probably changeable. I suppose, but
Right.
I think she feels sad when the wind leaves. Put it that way.
Mm. So the
And
wind is a
then
she?
um, I don't know if it's a she or a he. Actually, I can't entirely remember.
Mm.
No, I think
I
it's a
feel
he.
like, really, I think,
Usually it's a he in her poems.
right. I would personally think that wind would be feminine, being like, it could caress your face softly, and I don't know, it just feels like it would be
Right,
a
but you're a
feminine.
guy.
True, right.
Maybe as a woman, she was
Oh, well, there we go.
she was thinking about men. She was interested. I think she was interested in men, but she
Yes.
couldn't relate to them in the obvious way. So
Mm.
she had to sort of use her imagination.
You're an interesting man to listen to, actually, and especially how you put your words together. You're definitely more articulate than I am. I'll tell you that much. And I commend you and your music. It's very, very lovely. Where can people find the rest of your tracks, especially that Beatles one?
Well, all my stuff's on Bandcamp. If you look on the Matthew Bannister at Bandcamp, you can find the Beatles albums that I've done, plus plus the Emily Dickinson one, plus the solo stuff. And if you like Sneaky Feelings, you have to go to Flying Nun.
Yeah, your
So
catalog dates all the way back.
Quite a range of different styles anyway.
Cool. Your catalog dates all the way back to 1991.
Actually, 1982.
1982. Wow. Well,
The first Sneaky Feelings album came out first Sneaky Feelings release came out in 1982. It was the Dunedin Double EP, which was supposedly the release that established the so-called Dunedin sound.
Now, what's your, I guess, tips for young musicians or upcoming musicians there of keeping that longevity, that interest in music?
Well, I would say that you have to treat it like a friend. You have to just keep coming back to it and doing it and working away at it. And even if you're not successful, in sort of monetary terms or whatever, in audience terms, if it's the thing that you love doing, you'll do it anyway. Like Tai Chi or something like that, or meditation.
Yes.
You do it because it's worthwhile in itself. And if other people like it too, then that's a bonus.
Lovely.
But if you take that attitude, then music will never disappoint you because you can always get something out of it.
Yes.
And hopefully other people will as well.
And the beautiful thing about artwork is, talking about death earlier, it definitely lasts longer than us. You know what I mean? The appreciation for the creative output. Sometimes artists, it's hard to hear this as an artist, but sometimes your art can be appreciated well after your time as well. And there's always that.
There's a famous quote about that, which is "Life is short, but art is long."
Wow, who made that quote? That's a beautiful one, actually.
I don't know. It's Latin, so it must be some Latin guy.
Life is short, art is long. Yeah, I love that. I have to use that more often. Matthew Bannister, thank you so much for being on the show today and showing us your creative output. Really do enjoyed it. This is your final song, The Wind Tapped Like a Tired Man. And thank you for joining us in today's show.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ralph. Kia
ora. Matthew Bannister, go check him out on matthewbannister.bandcamp.com. And finally on the show, we've got Kyla Greening, really cool. And I'll play some Aldous Harding as well, just for fun. Okay, it's official. Matthew Bannister, impressive music. I'm going to feature that on the front page of kiwiradio.nz for the week.
Tired man, like a host coming, only answered entertain my residence within.
Next track is by Aldous Harding. Hannah Top is the real name, known professionally as Aldous Harding. New Zealand folk singer-songwriter based in Littleton, New Zealand. Now, Matthew was telling us all about this song. What if birds don't sing and they're actually screaming? It makes you think, right? Speaking of birds, Kyla Greening up next.
What if birds aren't singing, they're screaming? I got high, they're screaming. What if birds aren't singing, they're screaming? What if my moon gets caught up in her waning, trapped under sky lift, black heart in the eye of my visitors? What if birds aren't singing, they're screaming? What if birds aren't singing, they're screaming? I got high, I thought I saw an angel, but it was just a ghost. Heaving under his crow, making these little wooden posts out of my What if birds aren't singing, they're screaming? What
Final wonderful guest for this week is Kyla Greening, originally hailing from Hamilton, New Zealand, where everyone is your auntie or uncle. Kyla Greening joins us today in the Big Smoke, Auckland. Kyla, welcome to the show.
Hiya. Can you
Ha-
hear me?
Yeah, I can. How's things in
Okay.
How's things in Hamilton at the moment?
Hamilton. Yeah, good. It's 30 minutes away. I'm actually in Cambridge at the minute.
Ooh.
Which is little town just outside of Hamilton. But yeah, grew up in Hamilton. It's going good.
Awesome. Well, hey, welcome to the show. Now, we've been waiting for your little feature since one of your friends who's been on the podcast recommended you. And so very excited to have you today. Tell us about your 2-song set today, starting off with Rich Girl. Tell us about the song.
Yeah, sure thing. Shout out. I think that was my friend Lisa Grace.
Yes.
So shout out to her. And Rich Girl. Okay, so that's my debut single, I guess. The first song I put out last year in November, I think. And I just wanted to write a song, I guess, about not needing money to be rich, and kind of not needing money to be rich. And yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I'm
People are so
blanking for a
focused
bit.
on monetary as a commodity of success, but there are other things that are important. Tell us a little bit more. What's important in your life? What makes you a rich
Right.
girl?
Right, let me remember my lyrics. I start off thinking about talking about the van that we've driven since I was 9, and
Nice.
kind of we didn't get an upgrade for ages, which it's not even a bad thing. Or eating 99-cent bread
Yes.
from the vegetable shop. I think it was Rivermill, the brand at the time. Now breads are all expensive, but it's also a shout out to my cousins. Talk about hand-me-downs, talk about Sunday dinners, and jams around the table with the guitar, and it's a song about family and humble beginnings. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, and all the people that I see in my life kind of live humble lives and still find joy and still find success and still have a lot of gratitude, and that kind of love inspires me. And I see that those kinds of things really enrich their lives and make them rich people. And then so I was thinking, that makes me a rich girl. So that's where the song came from.
Spoken like a true poet, Kyla Greening, welcome to the show. This is the first song, Rich Girl.
Drive the same van we had since I was 9 years old. I learned the value of $1 when my parents were broke. They taught me loving to be grateful for whatever we owned. I love the hand-me-downs I had when I was 9 years old. 99-cent bread at the shop on the side of the road. Every day we would be fed and had a place to call home. Heaven gave me my best friends. I treat my cousins like gold. They wear the hand-me-downs I had when I was 9 years old. Ooh, you see my skies, they were already blue. But when I met you, I felt something so new. I didn't know I needed someone like you. You make me a rich girl, feel like a treasure that's so rare. Fill my soul with love that's as sweet as the night air. Safe with all the world's money, wouldn't even compare to what we have right here. You make me a rich girl, you know I'd be on the next plane, and I would run to you, cause I don't wanna be away. Though the oceans divide us, no, it could never change what we have right here. You make me a rich girl. You make me a rich girl. Yeah. Oh, Sunday dinner around the table and it's getting so loud. Got me playing my guitar, kinda sing along style. All my family's asking about you, cause I think they can tell that it's me and you forever, and it's making me smile. Ooh, you see my skies, they were already blue. But when I met you, I felt something so new. I didn't know I needed someone like you. Say you make me a rich girl, feel like a treasure that's so rare. Fill my soul with a that's as sweet as the night air. Safe with all the world's money, wouldn't even compare to what we have right here. You make me a rich girl, you know I'd be on the next plane, and I would run to you, cause I don't wanna be away. Though the oceans divide us, no, it could never change what we have right here. You make me a rich girl. Cause I'm rich in your love, safe in your arms. You make me feel like I'm dripping in diamonds. Said you're so good to me, baby, you're everything. Cause you make me, baby, you make me rich, rich. I'ma show you like la 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 Cause what we have right here, that makes me a rich girl.
Oh, those harmonies. Nice. Rich Girl, written by Kyla Greening. Checking out a Creative Waikato article here. Apparently this started off you writing the chords and the hook, but you also borrowed a loop pedal, right, to get this
I
started?
did. Yes. Yeah, I hooked that up in my garage. I had lost my voice kind of during the year, so the loop pedal was my way to kind of, loop a set of chords, figure out a melody on the guitar, and sing some, mumbled melodies into a little. I think I had a literal flip phone to record to record the ideas in, and then yeah, because I couldn't really sing that year. But,
Why
yeah,
was that?
so go
You
loop
lost your
pedal.
voice, or?
Oh yeah, a few complications here and there with my throat.
Hmm.
Yeah, being I don't know, fatigued or overused for
Hmm.
a short period of time is quite intense, and so even still now, looking after my voice and voice health is something that I work on quite a bit.
Tell us
So
about
yeah,
that voice health routine. What are you doing to get that back on track?
yeah. So for example, if I am asked to do a gig, I have to plan weeks before and weeks after it, enough time to rest so that I don't fatigue myself out whilst rehearsing for the gig. So I
Yes.
kind of need to, water, scarf, heat, steaming is helpful. Sometimes, if I'm being really good, I'll cut out gluten and dairy, but recently I haven't been doing that. But I know that helps my voice. There's lots of different tips and tricks for that, but steaming I think is helpful, and licorice tea are my go-tos at the moment.
It's actually really nice to hear from a vocalist that they're looking after their instrument. It's almost like a fine violin, what you're looking after. It certainly shows in the instrument and the music. It's really good. I was just going to say, I was thinking, I had an internal monologue to myself, like I'm almost in the graces of a like Mariah Carey vocalist type person
Oh
here.
wow,
So
an inspiration for sure. The goal is always to be, somewhat like Mariah Carey, but whether we hit it or not, it's still fun to try.
speaking of powerful female vocalists, big shout out to Lisa Grace, who recommended our artist today as well. I just got to play you the sting that she made for us.
I'm Lisa Grace, and you're listening to KiwiRadio.nz. But I stay. I try to move, but I break.
I just love that part of her song where it's, I try to move.
Oh,
How does she do? How does she do
How
that?
does
Like,
she
it's
do-
such a
That's
really.
the question. That's the
Mm.
question of the century. Her voice is so thick and broad and very rich. I take notes when she's singing.
Any plans
like,
for a
wow.
duet?
There actually is a
Oh
plan
my
for a
God.
duet. We've got a little exclusive there. A couple songs coming out. We wrote them because we both went to Parachute Music together in the
Cool.
artist development program. So we've got a few sneaky songs coming up, but one's definitely coming up very, very soon.
Is Parachute and Faith a big part of your
Oh.
life?
Definitely, that was the 2020 year. So the pandemic year when everything started to get crazy, Lisa and I were in the artist development program, also with Era Strivers, Chris Bates, and
I
the
love
group
Chris.
ART,
Yeah.
who were on Pop Stars recently.
Nice. Congrats.
That was super cool. Kind of an incubation year, I would say, to kind of dive in, see what you're really about, what you want to say, how you want to use music to say it. And so we had weekly songwriting sessions, and Jane was our mentor there. She was fabulous. The importance and value of community and
True.
encouragement within the music industry is like so valuable. So thanks for having me and Matthew and Ant before. So stuff like this is gold.
Oh, so honestly, in the receiving end, it's such a blessing to be the podcast host, because I get to share these moments with very talented musicians. So, yeah, it's positivity both ways, really.
Exactly. Gotta share it out. No,
Speaking of positivity and cool Kiwi music, I asked you what your favorite Kiwi tune is, and it's by Marley Solar and David Ware, called Joy, and we'll play it right now before signing off the whole show with a final track by Kyla Greening.
Because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor, to bind up the brokenhearted, and to proclaim freedom for the captives, and release from darkness for the prisoners. To proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. Here it is.
Give me joy till the morning. You're still in control.
holding on. So I may fail, your grace is amazing. I'll sing your praise. I'll sing your praises when everything falls. We'll keep holding on. Though I may fail, your grace is amazing. Your grace. You give me joy. You give me peace. You give me peace like a river. You're still in control. Whatever I need. You give me joy. You give me peace. You're still in control. Give me joy in the morning. Peace like a river. Streams of His blood I'm falling. You're still in control. You give me joy. You give me peace like a river. You're still
On this road and I'll be back again. 'Cause I'm definitely not a stranger to pain and suffering. I keep talking to my G's about this peace. Yeah, it's hard to believe that you're still in control and you're still all I need. Blessings be springing up until my cup run the door. But still the enemy is taking shots like I'm a soldier. Wish I could say it's like brushing the dirt off my shoulder. Give me peace and joy, surrender over. Give me joy.
KiwiRadio.nz. It's nice to actually hear some gospel music for a change. Marley Solar, how have I not heard of that track? I like to play Bible roulette every now and then, so I'm just going to tell you a verse. My God will supply every need of yours according to his riches and glory in Christ Jesus, Philippians 4:19. Speaking of finding eternal richness. Yeah, I love that verse. Do you have any particularly favorite verses that we should know of if you were to play?
The one that comes to mind right now is "For with God nothing shall be impossible," which is Luke 1:37, I think, or somewhere in Luke. I don't know if I got the things right, but I just like the simplicity of that one.
True.
Yeah, kind
Love
of
it.
speaks for itself a little.
Your next track is called Promises. What do you promise in delivering this year in terms of your creative output? What have you got lined up?
Great question. Oh man, it's almost the end of the year, so what I've got filled up for the end of the year is a few local gigs. I'm getting out there, playing it, trying to practice my live sets, and doing a lot of recording sessions so that hopefully we'll get some new tracks out early in the next year.
Now, does the loop pedal come out for your live gigs?
It hasn't in a while. Maybe I should bust it out. I haven't practiced that in a minute. It's super fun.
Well, it could be the magic ingredient for, I don't know, maybe you'll bust out something spontaneous at one of your live gigs that turns into a
Yeah, exactly.
actual
Maybe I
song.
can be one-man band like Matthew Bannister. Shout out to him. He was an awesome teacher.
No,
He was so interesting.
Yeah, did you like his interview?
Yeah, that was so cool. I mean, legendary, and the way he, as you said, articulates what he has to say. It's just such a cool insight into the way that he thinks, and is as a creative. I think he embodies that, true
Nice.
creative soul. So yeah, it's a pleasure. I'm glad he remembered me. Also, I'm not sure if he did because I kind of just snuck in and did my homework, and then
He said
handed it
that
in.
you were a good student and he remembers you, so there we go.
Yeah.
Now, Kyla Greening, I do thoroughly appreciate and have enjoyed your time here on the show. And yeah, you really are like the Kiwi Mariah Carey. Is there any other favorite vocalists of yours that spark inspiration?
Yes. In general or New Zealand?
Yeah, general. Go for it.
Okay. We're gonna go Tori Kelly. I think all through high school, me and my friends would listen to her. She's just so relatable with her, her guitar in her room. I think a lot of the New Zealander girls, kind of can relate to that, especially the Māori girls that I was friends with. They were listening to Tori Kelly all the time. I'm also going to go with JoJo. She's up there for me.
Yes, I remember
Jasmine
JoJo.
Sullivan. Yeah, insane. And India Irie. She was a staple in the car CDs. I don't know, classics. Alicia Keys. I have to go with Stevie Wonder. I'm just gonna keep listing everybody, but vocalists, I don't know. I'm gonna go James Ingram as one of my favorite male vocalists.
Interesting. Quite eclectic taste there. And I'm going to add Kyla Greening to my favorite vocalist list.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely enjoy your music. Now, give us the plug.
Thank
Where
you.
can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, just Kyla.Greening. I'm also on Facebook, Kyla Greening Music. I think that's mainly where I am. Otherwise, I think you can find my email if you need to flick me an email. But otherwise, just slide in the DMs, and I don't really bite.
And I found your Linktree website as well, which has all your links.
There's some treats in there.
Yeah, linktr.ee/Kyla Greening. Well, thank you so
That's
much
it.
for joining the show. Big shout outs to you and Lisa Grace. I hope that duet really does fruition. That'll be very, very interesting. And
there might be a sneak peek on my Linktree there for if anyone else is here.
Very, very cool. Well, any last words?
Maybe shout out to all my music teachers I've ever had. Since we had Matthew Bannister on here, him and a plethora of others, I think we, warm our hands by the fire that they've built. So thanks for all the music teachers out there.
Warm our hands with the fire that they built. Wow. Love it.
Oh, that one's not from me, but
Kyla Greening. What a wonderful talent. KiwiRadio.nz.
What's it supposed to mean? Can we promise something we can only hope to see? Don't say you won't go. You know, you know. I don't think you love me no more. You don't, you don't. Forever is way too long to be promising. You can wait all you want for the promised land. Trying to say that you love me, but you know we can't. You can't keep your promises. No. Don't say you won't go. You know, you know. I don't think you love me no more. You don't, you don't. Forever is way too long to be promising. You can wait all you want for the promised land. Trying to say that you love me, but you know we can't. You can't keep your promises. No. Handsome, rugged man of mine. Do you want what I want? Can I still tell you I love you without sounding like I'm done? That's right, I'm calling you out. Mister, leave me alone in a drought. Yeah, got me waiting for rain, now I'm waiting in vain. And my fears for the whole damn year. I need to know right now that you care. Yeah, I'm trying to make it so clear. I'm trying to make it so clear that the 5-week low is so lethal. It causes heat stroke. I said heat stroke, sitting on a pile of cheat codes, but I'm telling you, you're not gonna need those. See, with a woman of my caliber, you gonna need a ladder, cause you gonna have to level up if you wanna handle all this. I love you to stay, but you can't keep your promise. Don't say it, don't say it. You know, you know. I don't think you love me no more. You don't, you don't. Forever is way too long till you promising. And you can wait all you want for the promised land, but you know we can't. So don't bow with me. Alright, yeah. Don't you need me? Yeah. All you do, but you can't keep your promises, no.
Speaking of promises, I have promised myself and previous guests of the show that I will do my utmost best to keep plugging them post their feature. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Another really great talent you should check out from New Zealand is Lovita. And she's got an EP release show coming up in just 3 days. So if you're in Christchurch Darkroom, check her out live November 18th, 2022. Doors are open at 8 p.m. She is playing with special guests Wolfie and Phoebe Vick. More details at undertheradar.co.nz. And going to sign off the entire episode now with Lovita. She's got a brand new single that she collaborated with Wolfie. The track is called Nostalgia. Thank you so much for joining us today. Replays of the podcast can be found at kiwiradio.nz. Stay cool, stay creative.
So it is
hard to find, but hard to forget. None of it's a matter, the past doesn't exist, yet here I am. Oh, this feeling I'm living in, this moment, where have I been? I'm arrived at my destination, but I still can't shake up the nostalgia, and I wonder why I get so deep. Bittersweet nostalgia, and I wonder why I get so deep. Why I get so deep. And I wonder, oh, I wonder why I get so
Hi, this is Lavita, and you're listening to KiwiRadio.nz.
I'm ready.